facilities, you've hired the best medical staff, all the exterior things that, for most clubs, you have to pick between updating the stadium um, or making transfers. You do both. Stop being select. Like, as soon as he starts getting selected, saying we're not in the top 10 transfers in history, is where you know he's just making excuses.
Special league. And going back to Chivas, that's why this attack is not just on Manchester City. This attack is against this league.
Talking about looking at context, bro. How about we look at context and facts? Context and facts is you've so okay. So you don't have one part in the top 10 transfer in history. Very selective figure. Let's look at the multiple 50 million signings, 40 million signings, 60 million signings you've made in the past since the takeover. And let's not pretend like those things, those signings can't be then sold on eventually to generate your own profit. You have a head start on everyone. And when things go wrong, you can bail yourself out of money. That's the facts. Generated from originally investing that money into the club. There's like the periods, man. That's what we're looking at here. Clubs. He's just being an idiot. You can see it. Hold on, Khaldoon. Pride as an institution to sit there and shamelessly say that you are not the superpower in your league, that you are on a level playing field to other clubs. How can you sit there and not pretend that you haven't turned the league into money? Since let's just put this into perspective. Let's put this into Mr. Khaldoon. Since 2008, City have invested 2.0 billion, more than any other club. United are next closest to them. Now let's examine the facts. In that 2.5 million, just on players, by the way, you can buy all the good players. Because better players go for more money in the transfer market. Then, let's spend. You can resell some of those players that you bought on for more money, which makes the net spend look nice. But it's, when you make a lot of 60 million signings over time, eventually those guys are going to be able to, you can sell them off, the ones that don't work out. So cut the crack and say it's because you have the best manager or you have smart signings. No, it's because you've had more money than everyone else. You have better facilities than everyone else because you have more money. You have better managers and better coaches because you have more money. You know? Inter misses. But it's an inevitability. Even if some of those transfers had failed, you'll eventually get to that stage because you have more money. This guy's a fucking idiot. And so are the City fans who parrot bullshit to detract from the fact. Most City fans will always try and take selective facts like the people bring up last summer. Oh, last summer Liverpool had a better or worse net spend than City. How about we look at the last 15 years, motherfucker? Are we, like, what? Just because of one summer does not change anything. You sold. And what made your net spend good? The fact you sold Jesus, and you sold Zinchenko, and you sold whoever the fuck it players who you would have bought from 30 million, 40 million years ago, and obviously have sell-on value. Why are you selling these guys for big amounts? Why? Not because you bought them and developed them. No, because you bought them for ton of money in the past. And now you're selling them at years later, so you can buy new people like Haaland. Oh yeah, you don't. But guess how much you're paying Haaland and how much you pay his agents. That's a gigantic transfer. That's not a bargain. 64 million. Cut out the shit, man. Cut out the shit. Stop trying to pull the wool over the eyes of. Never gonna do it to me. That's for sure. Trying to over fucking tick football supporters. Just because, you know, they can laugh at their rivals and say, ha ha ha, Man United or Arsenal bottom of the league. Oh, United spend billions and they don't do anything. Liverpool. While you have the elephant in the room over here, winning title after time, make the Premier Farmers League, making sure that your club's never going to see goal. But guess let's ignore that and lap up the shit so we can banter our rivals who are now irrelevant because of the money laundering scheme that is Manchester City and soon to be Newcastle. Why don't people actually face the real consequences? Is your team is not going to win anything in the future because of these teams. These are the teams to look at, not the fucking teams around you. Like, see what Liverpool fans. Let's hope Man City win the Prem to stop Arsenal because Arsenal fans are not. Fuck no. Arsenal win because Arsenal. Anything. Then we need City to because these are, so will never go away unless something is done. Go away. We're never going to win. Get lucky. The only reason Liverpool won the Premier League was because Laporte was injured. Rick Scott. The only reason we won the Champions League is because Llorente scored a last-minute winner against City that was. Well, and I think if City had played us, they probably would have beaten us that year. City, in reality, haven't lost the Champions League game the past 5 years in 90 minutes. Like, can you believe that? Close to making this a Farmers League. That's the reality. And I feel absolutely hapless trying to communicate this to the idiots that exist in the football world. The only people who seem to actually have the smarts to realise this are the likes of me and Mark Goldbridge. It's crazy. There's a giant elephant in the room. Seems too obvious to believe. It's almost like too obvious to believe, so people say, no, there must be something else to it. Maybe we're just not good. They're just too good. They're too good because they spent fucking billions. We had established clubs like all the money into the game was true. It's only for some fucking foreign country to come in, handpick some inexpensive team to take over in the league who just happens to be existing in the league, floating around in mid-table obscurity, and because if they're to buy a top club who maybe deserve one of them, they would have been too expensive to buy. So let's build them up, and make them take over. Watch, destroy the just because. And by no means there are like City. I might go out and City fans. I don't like the City fans who act fucking brand new and naive and pretend like you know, everything's okay and your club has done nothing wrong. You know, those sort of fans are the fans I don't like, but there are decent City fans. Don't get me wrong, there are decent City fans. Um, and I'm sorry to those. It's not really your fault either that you've been taken over and put in this position. But if you're going to sit there and act oblivious and act naive to what you actually done, try and justify it, then fuck you, basically. Same with Newcastle fans and the way they're acting, just throwing in means like cry more and stuff. Pathetic. You know, it's pathetic. Um, and I might come off like a broken record. Sorry to the decent ones I've interacted with and the ones who are just happy for what their team has become. But for those who fucking defend this shit and try and make excuses for what your team does, fuck you. This is why I open my mouth. The people, obviously the good fans I'm talking about are the ones who realise there's something wrong. It's wrong, and they probably get bored watching the team win all the time and realise, oh, it's not as fun in watching City win all the time as it would be for a team like, I don't know, Brighton to win the Premier League. It would mean a lot more like Leicester when they won the Premier League. Um, but they're obviously not, and I understand this, they're obviously not going to come and comment against their own club and hope for reform and change the structure of the league because it's their club and they're happy they're winning. But they don't go and then defend the fact they spend lots, and when they see people complain about it, they don't go in the comments and say cry more and defend the fact that their owners have basically monopolized the league. I can think of an account, Alex Ram tweets. Um, when those decent fans see me complain, they know I'm right, so that's why they don't comment on what I'm saying. But yeah, I just, you know, for the sake of competing, for the sake of rewarding the teams that made football, it is what it is today. I just Super League, easy, easy yes for me. Um, and people would say, oh, it would destroy the fucking structure of the league. Imagine the poor teams around. Fuck those teams, because they're the same teams who want Man City to continue winning because they're destroying the established and they're affecting. Uh, they get to see Liverpool fans cry and United cry. So you know what? Fuck those teams. Fuck the smaller teams. Those fans are loving the fact Man City are beating us, and they're when we call out Man City, they say, "Oh, what about when United monopolize the league and we're winning every trophy under Alex Ferguson?" Because those guys are shit for brains and don't understand what's going on. Because they don't care because they probably don't have a chance to win the league anyway. Um, I hope the fucking Super League comes in so those guys can be left in the dark and realize that defending Manchester City all their lives culminated in this happening. Because yeah, it just it's stupid, man. It is stupid. The big brands like Arsenal, Liverpool, United, they all have to suffer because of shitty teams who are getting takeovers from fucking Arabic owners. Um, but yeah, I just want to watch football and enjoy. I want to. Football is my main interest in life, man. I want to enjoy watching my teams win things. That's all I want to do. And I think I have more of a claim to want Liverpool to win things than a Man City fan or a Newcastle fan who never had uh, history in terms of their club winning things. Suddenly, all of a sudden, become the superpower winning everything. It's crazy to me. Um, I do hope the Super League happens. I really do. I'm being a greedy, selfish bastard because every single other fucking fan is a greedy, selfish bastard and wants to see Liverpool suffer and I want to see United suffer. So fuck them. Bring on the Super League. Hope it happens, man.